Greetings and welcome to South Africa Unfiltered, where we unpack all the untold stories that matter to you. My name is Nontogozo Dazela and I am your host, and today with me I have a very special guest, Mrs. Ntandokazi Mlamleli. Thank you for joining us, and please introduce yourself. Tell us where you come from and what you do.
Thank you for the invite. My name is Ntandokazi Mlamleli.
Yes.
Originally from Ezikuba in Bizana, but currently staying Ebenezer.
Okay.
I am a mother to the kids that I stay with at my shelter. I started a shelter called Philisimbokodo.
Yes.
Philisimbokodo is a women's shelter. I stay with victims of domestic violence and child abuse, where I currently have 21 kids.
Wow, that's very beautiful. Thank you. Please tell us, what is gender-based violence?
Okay, gender-based violence, in my own opinion, in my view, gender-based violence is any form of abuse that is inflicted on a person. It can be any gender. It doesn't specifically have to be a woman. It can be a woman, it can be a child, a boy child, or a girl child. It can also be a man. But then when we're speaking about gender-based violence, we're speaking about any form of abuse inflicted in a person. If you ever feel like you are a victim in any kind of way, for me that is gender-based violence.
Okay.
Yes.
So please tell us, what inspired you to start your NPO?
My lifetime experiences.
Yes.
Me starting an NPO is a journey that I needed from what happened to me as a child growing up. So the form of abuse that I endured made me realize that there might be people out there that need support. There might be people out there that do not have any place to run to. So I wanted to give that healing to people in a space of getting my healing from them. But in overall, it was my lifetime experiences that made me start the NPO.
Do you want to maybe talk about that experience?
Okay, where do I start? Okay, as a girl growing up, I was a daddy's little girl. My father gave me so much love, to the extent that I felt like I'm living in a world where it's just me and him. It feels like he knew that somehow he's going to leave me in this world. So my father passed away. It hit hard, but in a process of it hitting hard, I had a knight in shining armor, so to say. A very close family member took me in and fathered me. So in him fathering me, he made me forget the fact that I don't have a father. So they gave me him and his family being he like his wife, and they made me a comfortable place. They made me forget the fact that I don't have a father. I didn't feel it for a second. So somehow I was like, okay, these are my parents. I even forgot that they're not my biological parents. So I was so comfortable with him and the family and. Fast forward, one day I was home alone. It was a very hot day. So I was in my room. I had a short yellow dress. I remember quite correctly. I was lying down on the floor with a cloth covering me, and I was sleeping flat. I could hear the door banging. There was him coming in. The main door, he came in the main door, he locked it and came to my room, woke me up. in the process of, oh, daddy, you home? Yes, babe, I'm here. Okay. We spoke randomly. Then one thing led to another. Then I don't really remember the whole thing, but one thing I always woke up to remember is that he forced himself on me. That I know, that I remember. And in the process of him forcing himself on me, there was the first phase of me being victimized. And then when he was done, it felt like he was possessed in a way, because, sorry, when he was done, can you see when someone actually means something? When he sincerely looked me in the eye and said, I'm sorry. And that it felt real. I could feel that I'm sorry from him. And when I was about to ask him why, it is when he held me with one hand, took out his gun, shot himself in the head, and died on my arms.
No. Oh my goodness, can I give you a hug?
Thank you.
Oh, so sorry. Thank you.
So, when all of that happened, okay, I had to come to realization of everything that happened. So people came in, I had to go open the door and everything and remember, as people coming in, I'm naked, and there is a dead person here, and they asked what happened. Okay, he raped me. I remember quite correctly. Ukraini from the neighbor asked Oti, who are you talking about? Because I know he wouldn't even touch a fly. And I was like, he raped me. And that is when everything came trembling down. For status, we stayed in rural areas, KZN side. And secondly, at that time, he was a station commander. And he was a very respected man in the community. And he was a family-orientated man. So instead of people embracing me, comforting me for what happened to me,
They blamed you.
they blamed me. And in them blaming me, they wanted to know what happened. Like I do not know the story that they formed in their minds, but for them it was something happened because a man is dead. But whatever happened, it was, I knew what happened because I'm the only person who's here. But they didn't want to believe Yes, my story, like what has happened to me. I remember they came in, others even had sticks. I need to be beaten up and so that I can tell them the truth to what happened. Because I remember someone once said, maybe he walked in on me with someone else and that someone killed him or whatever. So I'm trying to protect that person who killed him, because for starters, he wouldn't be suicidal. And secondly, he wouldn't touch a child, especially that child being me, the child that he fathered. Yes. So a lot happened. A lot happened, but luckily enough, my mother came through for me. My mother, the family was divided. And I think up until today, my mother's words kept me going, because the wife asked, why do you even have to take her to the doctors and whatnot and whatnot? And my mother said, because she was raped. And they were like, how do you know that she was raped? And she was like, because she's saying she was raped. And I believe her. Besides the fact that she's my daughter, but if she's saying that she was raped, then she was. I believe that she was raped. So a lot happened. I moved back the side, gathered myself with the help of my mother and the rest of the family members that from my mother's side. So I had to grow up with the stigma that I was raped, and I was 13 years old, and growing up where people would, at that time, rape was not something that was a buzz like now. So yeah, fast forward, I grew up and I went through a lot as a child, but I was able to overcome everything. Then as a journey to healing, I started Philisimbokodo, and with the support of my family, we have a temporal structure. When I say a temporal structure, it's a temporal structure because it is my home. I opened my home to being and changed it to being the shelter. So a lot happens at the shelter. With me realizing that maybe there are people out there who also need the kind of help that my mother gave me. I was like, okay, I'll be that help. Okay, I started Philisimbokodo. So different types of people come in. If I were to share, I live with, there's one girl there who has 2 kids. The 2 children that she has are fathered by her father, and one of that child also has a father by the father. So it is an ongoing process. So dealing with that every day, dealing with children that are being victimized in so many ways, sometimes sets me back to my experience, but at the same time it gives me healing. For instance, we had a 5-month child that came in that was also raped by the father. A lot happens. A lot. I stay with a lot of kids that have had different life experiences. But one thing that I've learned in the journey that I am in is that healing is a process, and the days are not the same. Sometimes you talk about the experience that you had and you don't cry. Sometimes you talk about it, it overwhelms me and you cry. But I always say we don't have to push ourselves. It is important that we take it one day at a time. Yes, and if you are still in that dark place, you stay in that dark place, you embrace that dark place, you move around that dark place until you be the light of that dark place. You don't push yourself out of it. It took me so many years to move past being a rape victim. Because right now I'm in a stage where I am not a victim. I'm in a stage where I don't feel like a victim. I know for a fact that I am not a rape victim, but I am a rape survivor. So it took me realizing that him doing that to me was meant to break me, but it didn't. Him doing that to me was meant to crush every living being in me, but it didn't. The reality is that I overcame all the suicidal thoughts that I had growing up, and me overcoming them made me realize that, okay, because I survived what he did, I survived those suicidal thoughts, I survived everything. I am a survivor. And in the process of realizing that I'm a survivor, I walk in the shelter and look at all the beautiful faces of the children that I stay with. And whenever they smile, I'll be like, Yazindoni, I'm grateful for the fact that I was raped. I'm grateful for the fact that I was sexually abused, because if I was not raped, if I didn't undergo all the abuse that I had, I wouldn't have created this safe haven for these kids. So it took me realizing my purpose in life and moving past the mentality of me saying, I don't know why God created me. In my situation, I found purpose in it, and I realized, I'm grateful for him doing this to me, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be where I am today. And for the first time in my life, I went to a shop, I bought beautiful red roses. I'm a red rose lover. I bought beautiful red roses, and I was like, I need closure. So yes, I cannot ask him why. He can never tell me why. But let me go there. Let me go to visit his grave. And I went there, and I was like, I bought this for you. Hi, how are you doing? I hope you're good. I bought this for you. I hope where you are, you see me. You see the woman I've become. You see how you were meant to break me, but you didn't. You see how you uplifted me, how you made me this selfless, loving person that I am today. How you made me a mother to those kids that I'm staying with. I told him all about the shelter. I told him, and I was like, you know what? I forgive you. And I thank you. And me saying I forgive him was like coming from the bottom of my heart, because honestly, he made me the person that I am today, and I am grateful for him doing that to me.
Yeah, that is a lot, and I just want to say that you did not deserve any of that. And as much as you say that you have turned it into a silver lining kind of thing, you still do not deserve it, especially at that age. No one deserves it at any age. And I just want to thank you for opening up on this platform about it. Not a lot of people are willing to do that. And you're so brave. You are very brave and resilient. And we thank you for the service that you do, for the people that come through your doors. And I can't imagine the pain that you must have gone through your whole entire life, because you carry this everywhere that you go. So
they always say one man's trash is other man's treasure. So as much as that had happened, I'm grateful for the fact that somehow God blessed me with a man that embraced what had happened to me. He went through a lot with me. He even booked me in a psychiatric hospital where I had to stay there and undergo a lot of counseling and then he crowned me his queen, and him placing that crown on my head and respecting that crown meant a lot to me. So maybe God knew that I had to go through everything that I went through, so that I can also help others through the pain that I went through. And as much as I always say that I'm past that hurting stage, but it's part of me. It's part of my life. And other days are better than the others. And as we say at the shelter, my situation does not define me. It doesn't define my destination. So here I am. This is me.
Please tell us, how were you able to summon the courage to tell your partner about the abuse that you went through, and how can others break their silence to their partners about the same thing?
I think for me it was starting a relationship. The basis of starting a relationship is learning to be comfortable around that person. So being comfortable around that person is, okay, me and my husband, we dated for a month. Then after a month, he proposed.
Wow.
Within a short period of time. So him proposing was okay, we're starting a new life. That is, we are about to spend life together. So I had the mentality that, okay, if I am to get into a marriage, the foundation of it should be
honesty.
Yes. So that meant me unpacking everything that I came with, because this person would spend the rest of his life with me. So he should know that I do have nightmares once in a while. I throw tantrums, and there's something that I'd be looking for. Then it is okay, this is me. This is the whole of me. So it's either sizongena kulo mtshato with you knowing that this is me, or we're not going to. So for me it was that. And for other people, I think when you honestly want to heal, the person that is a partner to you, the person who you want to be with, that you are willing to spend a lifetime with, should know the real you, so that that person would know, okay, I have a wound here. So we brush that wound together, we clean that wound together, we dress that wound together. So I think it has to be the fact that for you to spend your life with a person, that person needs to know you. Yeah.
That is very beautiful. So please tell us about some of the experiences of the victims that you live with that have shaped you and shaped the people that are around you.
With me and the people that I live with, the most traumatic experience has to be the one from, I won't tell the names of them specifically, but it has to be the one from the girl that's around, not far from my area, that I told you about, that has 2 children with the father, and the father also has the child with her, the other child, and the father was also starting to do that to the child who happens to be, I don't know whether I should call the child grandchild or the whatever it is, but with her going through all of that, and with us going to the father to remove them because the environment was toxic. Yes. So with the father's response was, this is my garden. I'm the one who planted this seed.
No.
So I'm the one who should eat the seed first.
No.
Because eventually people are going to eat it. But you cannot expect me to plant in the garden and have other people come and eat the plant. So imagine in the deep rural, like it's a sick society, so to say, because imagine in the deep rural areas where you have a person referring to his family as a garden that needs him to chow. So it's a lot. We also have with gender-based violence, we need to understand that it's gender-based. So it happens to either gender. So we also had a child who came in at the age of 8 who was abused at the age of 8 by his stepfather. He's a boy child. So he was sexually assaulted by his stepfather at the back. So that resulted him into wearing a nappy because he couldn't feel it. Yes. So we have a 5-year-old that was also raped by a 5-year-old. He's 5 years old now, but at that time when it happened, we 5 months old. He was also raped by a biological father. So with her, it's something else because she's a child. She was in a nappy. So having a man to come and undress the child. When I say undress, I mean like taking off the nappy, like on all of that. So yeah, those things happen, and it takes only a victim to narrate the story, and it takes only a victim to understand
what is actually happening.
Exactly. So we just need to tap into the fact that these things are real and they happen here around us.
Yeah, they do.
Exactly.
They do. And we usually see these things in movies, in like television, we hear about them in radio, but we don't really think they will happen around us.
Exactly.
Because they are concealed, and not a lot of people want to talk about them because they are deemed a shame and frowned upon.
Yes.
And a lot of survivors aren't like believed, like how you said that the community did not believe you. And it baffles me, because why wouldn't you believe a child?
I think it's in us women, especially with the experiences that I've experienced with the surrounding of the shelter. Is in the rural areas, there's this patriarchate that a woman's place is in the home. So women there don't work. So their husbands are the providers. Because if I remember correctly, there's this one home that we went to, and the wife asked Uti, if you are telling us to go and arrest my husband, what are we going to eat? So we as women, we give away our children for the sake of he's providing for us. So we are given stability by this person. He feeds us, he does this. You tend to count all the things that he does, and then they're in denial of everything that happens.
And the abuse of power, because now he knows that he feeds this family, so he can take advantage.
I think we also as women need to wake up to the fact that we cannot sustain our lives or our marriages using our children, because when we're talking about gender-based violence, we're talking about something that is very deep, and to the understanding that we as a society, we groom our young boys to be what they are today. For instance, many children growing up in marriages, they don't want marriages because they see me and my husband fighting every day in front of them. And with the child growing up seeing that, for him or for her, that's the life that we're molding, that we're making her understand with, okay, this is the life that we as people should live.
So it's normal.
Yes, making it a norm. Yes, so we are installing that to the person. Same goes for raising a boy child and a girl child. We mold those boys to treat their wives the way that they are treating them today. Because for me, I tell my baby girl that, okay, you come back from school, you clean, you cook, you do this, you do that. What is the boy child doing? Outside playing ball. We don't tell them that, okay, if she's cooking, you washing the dishes, you doing this, you doing that. And as the child grows up, he will treat his wife the way that I groom him. Exactly. So we are the ones to blame for the sick society that we have today.
And a lot of men now, they want maids and not life partners, because a lot of stereotypes around marriage involve a lot of women working as maids, like in the kitchen, because everyone is like, no, the place of the woman is in the kitchen. So if I have a career, then it's like, no, I'm not a suitable wife, or I'm not a suitable mother because I put my career needs first. So I really get what you're saying, and I also want to highlight the fact that these things do happen here. They happen around us, and there should be more awareness of the things that are happening around us, so that we can speak about these things and understand how these dynamics shape us, how they lead us to be the people that we are in society. And so, yeah, man, this is just such a deep topic, and I really, really am happy that you are here and you are telling us these things, because a lot of us are not really willing to speak about them. Yeah. So how can people seek help? How can victims seek help in situations where they are being abused, and how can they speak out?
Firstly, in seeking help, it needs you first to accept the fact that you are being abused, because we run away from seeking help because of the denial that we have. So others would say, but he loves me, but he apologized, but he. What about you? How are you feeling? What is it doing to you? So seeking help starts with you as a person, personally, that do you want help? If you want help, then there are police stations, there are people that you can, and we are fortunate enough now that every government hospital, there's a program that they are running that has Itutuzela Center. So when we're talking about Itutuzela Center is a free center that is based inside the government hospital. It has psychologists, it has psychiatrists, it has social workers inside the hospital, police inside there. There's a lot of professionals inside there. They are trying to provide the thing that, okay, we cannot say, okay, she's a victim, go to the police station, go to the, now it's packed, is it here? So we can even go and use those Tutuzela centers. But the best way of seeking help is going through the police stations and reporting the abuse, yes, and yes.
So the Center for your NPO, I'm sure, requires a lot of finances to keep it going. How do you keep everything running, and how can people who wish to support you reach you and also donate?
Oh, that's very tricky. Coming to keeping it running, I financially we are always strained because I personally am not working and they do not have funds. So it has to be taken from the food that, the monthly food that we eating here at home, because daily monthly we are going to eat here at home. So whatever we eat is whatever they are eating. But when we are really down and out, there's we go around asking, especially from shops, and sometimes we do awareness programs in the sake of fundraising. But yeah, it makes me cry sometimes when I'll be like, what are we really going to eat? And they'll be like, when they see me, they see hope. When they see me, they see everything. So I have to be strong for them. In terms of getting hold of me, I am on social media. My personal account on social media is Ntandokazi Sizinda. Then we do have a Facebook page for Philisimbokodo. And on Instagram, it is Philisimbokodo, and on Twitter, it is Philisimbokodo. Then the phone number is 078 28 68 132. And for the account number, we had a Philisimbokodo account which was FNB, but due to the fact that it didn't have funds and stuff, it was closed, and so currently I do not have a Philisimbokodo account number directly.
So people can donate food parcels or anything of that sort?
Yes, they can. Anything, clothes, anything that they is welcome. Okay.
Ntandokazi, thank you for being on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure having you here. We absolutely enjoyed having you here, and we wouldn't mind you coming here again. I'm sure you will.
I will. Thank you for inviting me. I think I needed that. Like, surprisingly enough, I don't know how long it's been since I've spoken about it, but I needed tapping back into that. So thank you very much.
Your insights were very helpful, and we hope that everyone who listens to this show is moved and wants to take action because of it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to our viewers of South Africa Unfiltered for joining us. From me to you, goodbye.